Hello, welcome to your Friday. This is week 24. It's the 12th day of June 2020. I have so many things to talk about today that I might not be able to fit them all in. But I want to start by thanking everybody for watching last Friday's video. People watched and people commented, and I asked if you had an opposing view that you simply be kind about it. And people were. I got some opposing comments, and I got several private messages. They were spirited, and we had a good conversation. For anybody who disagrees with me, I want to thank you, because we can agree to disagree. That's crucial in today's world, isn't it? Okay, my shout out today. Dispatchers. What do dispatchers do? I'm going to tell you just a few of the tasks they're charged with. And I'm speaking mostly of a 911 dispatcher who takes your emergency call, listens to you, tries to help you stay calm, and tries to get aid to you, be it police, fire, paramedics. It might be a public works department. I've been to dispatch. They have monitors all over that office, and a keyboard in front of them and a headset. They have to be able to type wicked fast. They have to multitask like no other profession I know. They also stay on the line with you until help arrives. They may give you instruction on CPR, first aid. If you've never thought about it, please give a little bit of thought and maybe say a prayer for our dispatchers. They do an incredible job for us. Today, like I said, I've got so much to talk about, some of which may be very controversial, and you may disagree with me. And once again, I'm going to ask you, if you do, let's talk about it. Fair enough? I believe everybody out there that watches my videos can do that. But first and foremost, what is very troubling to me is the death of George Floyd. The person that knelt on his neck, Derek Chauvin, was not a police officer. He was an entitled man in a uniform who thought he could rule the world. That's how I saw it. More and more, I realize this may have been intentional. They knew each other, and I don't believe they got along. But sometimes there is a police officer who goes rogue. But those are very few. Please keep that in mind. The second thing that I want to note is the days following the death of George Floyd. We had an incredible opportunity. The nation and the world, they were all watching. They were all supportive of change. You had peaceful protesters. And all of a sudden, riots and looting broke out, separate from the peaceful protesters. What good does this do? A young black man's life was taken. Yet many other lives were taken for no good reason. There was a 70-some-year-old retired policeman. His name was David Dorn. He was protecting a friend's business. He was shot and killed. A black man. What I don't get is my next issue. Black Lives Matter. Of course they do. What I have kind of surmised, because I never understood when one person says Black Lives Matter and another person says all lives matter, I realize they're both correct. I think the peaceful Black Lives Matter people are saying our lives matter too, or just as much as anyone else's, because for years I do believe they've been kept down. So I believe they're both right. Black lives do matter. I don't believe I'm a racist person, But I do believe there are changes I could make. And I believe all of us could make those changes too. Then moving into the next aspect, if Black Lives Matter, where George Floyd is concerned, and David Dorn, why isn't there outrage about the violence in Chicago? I'm talking about the riots, but I'm also talking about the weekend to weekend numbers. Is everyone aware that on the 31st of May, there were 699 arrests, 132 police officers injured, 48 shootings, and 17 homicides? Why don't we address all lives? If you want to go so far as to say, why don't we address Black lives in Chicago? Let's do it. Let's stop talking and let's find an answer. And when we find that answer, why don't we get a group of people together? Black Lives Matter, police, politicians, perhaps anyone who has anything they can contribute. Because I got to tell you something. These people on the news and a lot of politicians have not spent one day on the street. They haven't been in an oh crap situation. I have, many times. It's scary. When you say, let's ban chokeholds, I got to tell you something. I don't know a police department that allows them. And this came from the media or a politician. Do your homework, will you? Let's look at body cameras for everyone. Let's not just say, yeah, they have to be there. Let's look at it. I believe it can be bittersweet, but I believe it's something to look at. That is a good suggestion. But I'm going to tell you something else about chokeholds. If I'm in an oh crap situation, and it's between using a chokehold and losing my life, I'll take the discipline for using a chokehold over losing my life. But I don't know any police officers who use it or say it's okay. It's a very dangerous thing. It's the most vulnerable part of a person. So moving right along then, when we talk about police officers, there was a sergeant in New York who was head of the police union. And I don't mind telling you, he's pretty angry. Because why does everybody hate cops today? I could tell you why. One incident makes us all bad? No, that's not true. But this president of the union put out an interesting number. He said in 2019, 375 million interactions took place between police and citizens. And they were overall positive interactions. What does that tell you? You know what it tells me? Cops are good people. They're very good people. Their goal is to go to work and help you. There are some who take advantage of the power in many different ways. It's wrong at any level. I thankfully never had a racial complaint, a sexual complaint, and I can guarantee you when I got in my squad car, my goal was to make a difference and to help people. Let's see if I got anything else here for you. Well, I will say this much. We all need to look at our part. Maybe we're not going to make any big changes, but maybe we can think about our part and look at ourselves and see if there's anything we can do on a small level to make a big difference. I have friends of all types. I love them the same. As someone said a long time ago, we all bleed the same. We all are made the same, basically. We might look different. So with that, I know I've got a ton of other things. I want to say one more thing. The people who are angry that it took several days to charge Derek Chauvin with the death of George Floyd need to realize something. I did 30 years in law enforcement. I think this was quick, how they got the charges. But people need to realize just how much goes into the consideration of any given charge. It usually takes a couple weeks. They're overwhelmingly busy, but they need to make sure they don't overcharge or undercharge. And that takes time. It takes evidence. It takes video. It takes input. I was kind of surprised. I believe it was Thursday after Memorial Day when they issued the charges. So on that, again, I could talk all day. I think the passing of George Floyd and David Dorn, who you may not know about, was a retired police officer protecting his neighbor's business, was shot and killed. He was a black man. All of this outrages me. So on this, you have a great weekend. Thank you for watching. God bless you. I'll see you next week. Clicker.